been decreasing thanks to the work that they put in. We will do our best to look at the public sector pay review body offer and do our best to fund them as much as we can. But everybody knows the inflationary pressures that this country is now under. We don't want to have pay increases that are simply swallowed by price increases.
David Johnson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The North Morton in my constituency was dubbed Britain's kindest village because this 160 wait for it. Because this 160-home village committed to take 50 Ukrainian refugees. It has them all with them now. In the gallery today, there is a group of those hosts and some of the Ukrainians that they are hosting, including 2 young people who hope to go into Ukrainian politics in the future. Will my right honourable friend join me in welcoming them to this place and in thanking North Morton for their efforts?
I thank him very much for what he's doing to host young Ukrainians. Thank everybody actually in this House who's looking after Ukrainians. I think a lot of people are doing that. And can I say, I believe it's the wish of this entire House that those young people should grow up to live in a free, independent, democratic and sovereign Ukraine.
Peter Dowd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Given that the Prime Minister doesn't like walkouts and strikes, what legislation will he be introducing to stop further walkouts and strikes amongst his cabinet colleagues and junior ministers?
Mr. Speaker, I think that the whole House will have observed the brilliant performance on the radio this morning by the new Chancellor of the Exchequer. And that's no disrespect to the former Chancellor of the Exchequer. But what I think it shows, Mr. Speaker, is that in common with many sectors of the UK economy, there is a ready supply of skilled labour in the upper reaches of the Conservative Party.
David Davis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to draw the Prime Minister's attention to the words he used in response to my right honourable friend, Mr. Worthing, when he asked the question earlier. 6 months ago, I called on the Prime Minister to resign because even then it was clear that his approach to leadership and integrity was already creating a pipeline of problems that would paralyse proper government. Today, I ask him to do the honourable thing, to put the interests of the nation before his own interests, and before, in his own words, it does become impossible for government to do its job.
Prime Minister.
I thank him very much for the point that he's made again. I've just got to, I just couldn't disagree with him more. Look at what the government is doing today. Cutting taxes for 30 million people. We've just completed a programme to get 500,000 people off welfare into work, Mr. Speaker. And thanks to the strength of our economy, thanks to the position that we're now in, which was because of decisions that we took that they opposed, and it's to never forget. We are able to give £1,200 to 8 million of the poorest and most vulnerable families in this country. That is the right thing to do. We're getting on with it, and we will continue with our active and energetic programme for the benefit of this country, uniting and levelling up and unleashing the prosperity of the entire nation.
Final question, 5 bets.
The Local Government Association has told us that over 400 families who've come to this country from Ukraine under the family scheme have subsequently presented themselves as homeless to local authorities. Because the local authorities haven't got enough accommodation, those people are going to end up in temporary accommodation. There's a simple answer. Local authorities could be allowed to contact the many thousands of people who volunteered to provide homes under the Homes for Ukraine scheme. The problem is the government doesn't allow families to transfer from the family scheme to the home scheme. When will the Prime Minister act to ensure people who have come thousands of miles to this country aren't placed in temporary accommodation, but we take on the generosity of those families who are willing to offer them a home?
I thank him very much for the very valuable point that he's raised, and we'll make sure that families are able to cross over from one scheme to another, and to simplify and speed up the process. But I don't think that should take away, Mr. Speaker, from the generosity of this country in welcoming Ukrainians. 135,000 visas have so far been issued through our uncapped scheme, both the family scheme and the Homes for Ukraine scheme. It's changing the lives of those Ukrainians, and I think we should all be proud of what we are doing.
We now come to the personal statement I call Sajid Javid.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for your permission to make this statement. Yesterday, we began our day together. You, I, my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, and members from right across this House, when we broke bread together at the parliamentary prayer breakfast. And we listened, all of us, to...
We now come to the personal statement I call Sajid Javid.
Mr. Speaker, I'm grateful for your permission to make this statement. Yesterday, we began our day together. You, I, my right honourable friend, the Prime Minister, and members from right across this House, when we broke bread together at the parliamentary prayer breakfast. And we listened, all of us,